When we tell stories about the past, we're often talking about things we did again and again. And in English, we've got two super common ways to do this, using would and used to. They seem almost the same, right? But there's this tiny, subtle difference that can make your storytelling sound so much more natural. So, what's the deal?
First, let's just take a little trip down memory lane. Think about a favorite memory from when you were a kid. Maybe it's the smell of your grandma's kitchen, or just a simple routine that always made you feel safe.
Now, look at this. My father would read me a story. I mean, that word would just paints such a warm picture, doesn't it? It feels so nostalgic. It tells you this wasn't just a one-time thing. It was a ritual, a habit, something special.
Okay, so what happens if we try to swap that word out? Could we just as easily say my father used to read me a story and have it mean the exact same thing?
Well, in this specific case, yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. My father would read and my father used to read mean the same thing here. They both describe this regular thing that happened in the past but doesn't anymore. So if they work the same here, does that mean we can just use them interchangeably all the time? And this is where it gets really interesting and honestly where a lot of people get a little mixed up. The simple answer is nope, they're not. And figuring out this one little difference is going to make your English sound way more precise.
So let's pull back the curtain and look at the one crucial exception. This is the moment where would and used to decide to go their separate ways.
This sentence sounds totally normal, right? They used to have a Ford. It's just describing a situation in the past. For a while, they owned a Ford. Now they don't. Simple. But now, listen to this. They would have a Ford. It just sounds off, right? Your brain kind of goes, wait, that's not right. So the big question is, why? Why does used to fit perfectly, but would is a complete no-go? Well, the whole thing boils down to a really simple but powerful idea, the difference between past actions and past states. Once you get this, the whole puzzle just clicks into place. So here it is, the main rule. Would is kind of like a specialist. It's all about action. It's for things you repeatedly did, like you would visit someone, you would play a game, you would read a book. But it's not for things you were or had. It just doesn't work for describing situations or states of being. So what do we even mean by a state? Just think of it as a condition. It isn't something you're actively doing. So verbs like to live in a certain place, to be happy, to have a pet, or to know a fact, all of these describe states that were true for a while back in the past. This chart really lays it all out. Used to is your reliable, all-purpose tool. It works for everything, repeated actions and past states. It's always a safe bet. But would is the specialist. It's fantastic for actions, but you see that big red X? It's a hard no when it comes to describing states. Okay, enough with the theory. The best way to really get this stuff is to practice. So let's run through a couple of quick examples and see if it's clicking. All right, first one up. Look at the verb live. Now, is living in a city a repeated action, something you do over and over, or is it more of a continuous state, a situation? And the answer is used to. If you chose A, you're absolutely right. Living somewhere is a condition, a state you're in for a period of time, so only used to can work here. Okay, ready for another one? The verb this time is know. So think about it. Is knowing something an action you perform, or is it a state your mind is in? You got it. It has to be used to know. Knowing isn't something you do again and again. It's a mental state. That's why I would know Spanish just sounds plain wrong. All right, last one, and this one brings it all together. The verb is visit. So is this a state, like living or knowing, or is it a clear, repeated action? And there you have it. It's a trick question, because both are perfect. Visiting is a clear-cut, repeated action. So you can say, I used to visit, or if you want that more nostalgic story-like vibe, you can say, I would visit. Both are 100% correct. So let's just sum it all up. Here's the bottom line. When in doubt, used to is your best friend. It always works. It's the safe choice. But if you want to add a little more color to your stories, and you know for sure you're talking about a repeated action from the past, then would is a fantastic choice. Just remember, stay away from it for states like living, having, or knowing. So the next time you're sharing a memory, just remember, this isn't just about getting the grammar right. It's about picking the perfect word to paint the exact picture you want. So what story from your past are you going to bring to life with wood?